Did you know that Dolly actually lost a look-alike contest once? I think that's hilarious. I want to dress like Dolly in her Here You Come Again album cover. So I'm going to try to recreate the look, and then we'll do a comparison to see who wins. Now, I'm not naive enough to think I would win. Dolly is like out there. She's number one always, but I'm willing to give it a try. And I wanted to give a few little facts and whatnot about her as I'm doing this. So she actually wrote Jolene and I'll Always Love You in the same day. Can you believe that? Like, I wonder if she even knew when she was doing it how amazing they were going to be. She also turned down Elvis for singing I'll Always Love You, not because of Elvis, but because of Colonel Tom Parker. He wanted half of the publishing rights. Can you believe that? Can you imagine how amazing Elvis would have sounded singing that? I mean, in my opinion, Dolly is like as American as apple pie, hot dogs, ballparks. Like, we really should update that saying to include her as well. Because I don't know any one person that's more American as Dolly. I'm sure if I thought of it, I could probably think of some to add to it, but she's definitely iconic. And known worldwide, adored worldwide. And there's so much to admire about her. Her dad actually paid for her birth with cornmeal. Can you believe that? That is so dang cute. And that just shows how poor they were, which I think she's mentioned several times, you know, how poor she was growing up. I think there were 12 of them in a one-room house. And like by today's standards, well, shoot, even then, that's like exceptionally poor. So bless her heart. And I think that's one of the things I admire about her so much is that even though she came from those poor beginnings, she, you know, made herself rise above it in whatever manner it took to do so. And that's very admirable. She definitely had talent, but I think she had the chutzpah, or however you say that word, to actually, maybe it's the audacity. She had the audacity to believe that she could do it. And isn't that amazing? I think that also shows, like, if you set your mind to something, you can do stuff as well. And one of the little sayings that I love so much is that if you have enough gumption, ambition, and determination, you can do anything. And I think that's very important to remember when you're making new goals for yourself. So the shirt that she's wearing is red, and she has on these total 1970s blue jeans that are, I don't even know what shade of blue this is called, but they're just so iconic to 1970s. But I'm just wearing my regular blue jeans today. But she has on a bright red lip, and she had on brown eyeshadow, and I think I have some leftover hair. I'm gonna put that there to clean it off. And then I'm gonna do some of this. Isn't that very 1970s to have a white brow? I love 1970s. You know what? I wonder if I have some blue eyeshadow. Let me see. Okay. And we'll do this, which I got 100 years ago for Christmas. There is a blue, but I think it's going to be super dark. But we'll try it. They used to call this Waffle House blue, which is such an insult. But it was pretty. Now, the one that was Waffle House blue in very 70s is definitely a different shade than this, but just that if you said, oh, she wore Waffle House blue eyeshadow, it was really someone insulting you or them, whatever. So back to stuff I admire about Dolly. I think one of the things that, in quotes of seeing her and whatnot, one of the ones that I remember, this was around the time Steel Magnolias came out, was that she was sitting around with Julia Roberts and Olivia Dukakis, you know, all of the ladies, and they were talking, and Julia Roberts noticed that Dolly was being quiet, and she's like, well, Miss Dolly, what do you think about XYZ? And she said, you know, I just knew when I was younger that if I ever made it here, I would never complain about it. And, you know, apparently a hush fell over, and they were all like, yeah, we shouldn't complain about this. You know, we should appreciate where we're at and what we have. Because there's so many people who would love to be in their shoes, and, you know, definitely would appreciate being there. Okay. And then I don't need that or that or that. I think she did have on a lot of eyeliner and mascara. She might have done it on her waterline. I'm not doing that. So some of the other quotes she had that I absolutely love are, it costs a lot of money to look this cheap. Which, hello, as women, don't we agree? Like, cosmetics and hair and all the stuff, it costs so much to maintain ourselves. Another favorite is, she was asked how long it takes to do her hair, and she's like, I don't know, I'm never there. Which I love. And asked if she was offended by all the dumb blonde jokes. She's like, no, I'm not offended because I'm not dumb and I'm not blonde. Oh gosh, this is like gonna be torture. I don't know if I can do it. Let me see if this needs to come down. She says she's a self-made woman and she has the doctor bills to prove it. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna do something with the bangs. No, it's gotta come down some. Not too bad, not too bad. Okay, I'm not gonna do too much with it. Here we go.